Boxes. Boxes everywhere. That's what I remember most about moving from Delaware to Montana with my family. We had to move because my mom got a new job and my dad pretty much followed her wherever she needed to go. My older brother and I were both bummed out about it, but we had no choice but to follow our parents. Our new house was huge and luxurious, but I still preferred our old one. Regardless, this change was a breath of fresh air for me. My life was a mess, and I needed a chance to start over. Before I continue, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on any of our amazing videos. Although I was very excited to move, I really missed my best friend, Leeann. We spoke almost every day on the phone, and she listened to all my rants about how much I didn't like my new house and how I had no one to talk to. I didn't know if I'd ever be able to make another friend like her. However, life became a little more exciting when I started to go to my new school. Whoa, look at her. She's really pretty. I heard as I walked into the school's hallway for the first time. People stared at me like I had dropped from a foreign planet. I found my way to my first class and I sat quietly, hoping that someone would talk to me. But most people just stared. My first few weeks went exactly like that. I'd walk in, people would stare at me, and then I'd find my class and sit in the back. Of course, I began to feel lonely, and I really wanted to make some friends. But not any friends. I wanted to be popular. I wanted my high school life to be epic. My solution was to try out for the cheerleading squad. I had been one of the best cheerleaders in my old school, and I knew that was where the most popular girls were found. Luckily, they loved my routine, and I was able to make new friends. In fact, the coolest girls in the squad started asking me to hang out with them. They were pretty interesting girls. Eliza was the nice, sweet one. Abby was always super mean for no reason, and Jennifer was just in the middle. We'd hang out at each other's houses, go to the mall, talk about boys, and once in a while, we'd help each other out with homework. My dating life started to improve when Eliza introduced me to Chad, the absolute hottest guy at our school. We were having lunch in the cafeteria one afternoon when he walked past our table and said hi. "Who's your pretty new friend?" he asked Eliza. I could have sworn she looked a bit angry for a while, but then she smiled and said, "This is Zara. She moved to our school this year. Zara, this is Chad," she said. He sat next to me and started talking to me. I was so nervous that I could only give him one-word responses. He asked for my number, and that night, he asked me if I would go to the movies with him that weekend. That's how I started, and before I knew it, we were in a full-fledged relationship. I really liked him. Plus, it gave me something interesting to discuss and gossip about on girls' night out. Abby continued treating me horribly, though. I sometimes felt like she didn't approve of my relationship with Chad. She'd always say things like, "You know Chad is going to cheat on you, right? He has never been faithful to any of his ex-girlfriends, so what makes you think he'll be faithful to you?" But Eliza would always tell her to shut up. Like I mentioned before, she was nice and always came to my defense every single time. Anyway, one night they all came over to my house for a sleepover. We watched movies, ate loads of popcorn, spoke a lot, and even snuck out into the garden with a bottle of my mother's wine. Then something weird happened. We were all downstairs, and Abby said she had to go to the bathroom. She went upstairs, and I realized I forgot my phone in my room, so I went up to get it. When I opened my bedroom door, she was standing right there. She looked at me, shocked. "Didn't you say you were going to the bathroom? What are you doing here?" I asked. I came to get my jacket," she said. She ran out of my room without a jacket. I didn't think much of the situation until I was walking to class a few weeks later. People kept staring at me, but not in the usual way. Some were even laughing. I went up to a guy who was looking at me suspiciously. "What's going on?" I asked. "Look," he said while showing me his phone. He was watching a video on YouTube. The name of the video was Zara's Dirty Secret #1. I felt my heart stop. "Do you really have a hairy chest?" he said, laughing. "What?" I asked while turning red in the face. He played a part of the video for me. "Zara behaves like the prettiest girl on the planet, but the truth is that she's hiding a major flaw. She has a horrible, disgusting hairy chest. Does her boyfriend know about that?" a voice said. I was so humiliated, I didn't know what to do. I ran straight outside and went home. I ran upstairs to my room and opened my computer to look for the video so I could watch it again. I found it and realized that there was an entire channel devoted to posting my secrets. It was called The Secret Dirty Life of Zara. I clicked on videos and saw about 10 videos, each with a name more embarrassing than the last. I clicked on the first one, then allowed them all to play. They started off as minor secrets, but as they continued, they became worse and worse. Zara uses her brother's toothbrush to clean the toilets when she's upset with him. The reason Zara had to move from Delaware is because she was expelled from school. She cheated on all of her exams. Wanted to know how she did it? She pretended to have a bladder infection and always asked for permission to go to the bathroom. In the bathroom, she'd use her phone to look up all the answers. Then she was caught. Did you know that Zara went out with her best friend's boyfriend? They even kissed. Poor Leeann. I had no idea who could have done this. I told Leeann everything. She even knew that I made out with her ex-boyfriend one time, but she forgave me for it. As I became more comfortable with Abby, Eliza, and Jennifer, I started opening up to them and told them some of my secrets. But there were parts of my life on that YouTube channel that I had never revealed to anyone else, ever. I called Leeann immediately. Leeann, I know I did some bad things to you, but did you start a YouTube channel to get back at me? My life was going fine, and now it's completely ruined, I cried. Slow down, Zara. I have no idea what you're talking about. Can you explain? She said. I explained the situation to her, and she assured me that she wasn't the one behind the channel. I thought back to the night of the sleepover and how suspicious Abby looked while she was in my room. I went back to the channel and saw another video had been uploaded. The title was Zara is a Fake Friend. I clicked on the video and allowed it to play. Zara tried so hard to get into the in club at school, but she will never measure up to the real popular girls. Do you know she pretends to be Abby's friend, but she gossips about her to Eliza and Jennifer? Ugh, what a fake friend. I was so angry, I could have smashed the screen. It must be Abby. She's the only one who seems to hate me so much, and she treats me like garbage all the time. I will get back at her, I thought. I thought of an evil plan and decided to get started that same night. She was not going to get away with humiliating me like that. She wanted to ruin my life, so I was about to ruin hers too. I went to all her social media pages and saved some of her pictures. Then I photoshopped her face with a bunch of moles and pimples, so she looked pretty ugly. After that, I sent the pictures to everyone I knew at school. I also included the message, "Don't try to reveal my secrets when you know that yours are worse. Love, Zara." I wanted her to know that I was responsible. The kids from school shared the pictures and they spread like wildfire. I skipped school the next day because I didn't want to face my friends or explain my actions. But that night, Abby showed up at my house in tears. "Why did you do that to me, Zara?" she asked. "Why did you create that horrible channel to humiliate me?" I screamed at her. "It wasn't me. It was Eliza," she said. "You're lying. Eliza is always so nice to me, and she'd never do such a thing," I said. "I have proof. Do you remember that night you found me in your room? Earlier that day, Eliza told us she found your electronic journal on your computer. You don't even have a password." So she opened and began reading. She said she was going to email the files to herself so that she could read them all later. When I snuck into your room, I was trying to delete them, but you came back too soon. I was only trying to protect you," she said. I suddenly realized how stupid I had been. Of course, all of my secrets were written in my e-journal. I had done so many awful things that I couldn't possibly expect a person to understand, so I'd just written them all down. My journal was like a best friend I could share everything with. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for what I did to you, Abby. I think we should go over to Eliza's house right now, I said. She agreed, and we went there as quickly as our legs could take us. When we got there, her parents greeted us and showed us to her room. "Eliza, how could you do such a thing to me? I thought you were my friend," I said as I slammed her door open. "What are you talking about?" she said while she closed her laptop. She had been in the middle of posting another embarrassing video of me. "She knows the truth now, Eliza," Abby said. "My question is why? Why did you do it?" I asked. "I never liked you. I think you're obnoxious and irritating. And before you came here, Chad loved me. I've had a crush on him for a long time, and he was almost my boyfriend. Then you came along and ruined it," she said. "You could have just spoken to me about it without trying to ruin my life," I said. I couldn't understand how this girl, who was always so nice to me, could have done such a thing. That night, we forced Eliza to apologize on camera and to post it to the YouTube channel, which she had to hand over to us. I also recorded myself apologizing to Abby for circulating these awful pictures. I let everyone know they were fake. Abby and I ended up becoming good friends. After we deleted all the embarrassing videos, we transformed the channel into an anti-cyberbullying platform. We also started a safe space online for kids who were being cyberbullied. I realized that I've done some pretty messed up things in my life, and maybe you have too. But it's not the end. It's never too late to start over and become a better person.